Before marrying my husband in an arranged marriage, we made a promise, if either of us ever found true love in the future, we would divorce. 2 years after our anniversary, Malcolm brought it up again. I had a sinking feeling in my stomach, but I never expected to hear him say, "Let's divorce." My heart stopped for a moment, and I couldn't breathe. "Why so sudden?" I asked, struggling to keep my voice steady. "Just a while ago, we were so close, and now this?" Malcolm's gaze was cold. "I had an accident last month. Got a friend pregnant. I have to take responsibility." I felt as if the ground had dropped out beneath me. "My husband got another woman pregnant?" The words barely formed in my head. I stared at him, numb. He had come home early for our anniversary, and all along it was because of her, not me. I barely registered his next words, something about explaining it to his grandfather. "Does Grandpa Alaric know?" I asked, clinging to whatever semblance of control I could. But Malcolm's eyes darkened, and his voice turned distant. "I'll explain to him. Don't worry about it." I knew nothing would change his mind. He handed me the divorce papers like it was a routine matter. "I'll leave the house to you, plus $16 million. If you need more, name your price." It felt like a slap to the face. 6 years together, 2 years married, and this was my reward. I took the papers, my hands shaking. "Is she someone special?" I finally asked. Malcolm looked at me, his expression unreadable. "She saved my life years ago. We've known each other for a long time. So, she wasn't just some random woman." That made sense. I had always wondered why he seemed so uninterested in anyone, and now I understood. My stomach turned as the sweet smell of our meal faded into nothingness. I couldn't stomach it anymore. The fish turned sour in my mouth, and I ran to the bathroom, vomiting. Malcolm was at my side in an instant, concern flashing in his eyes. For a split second, I wanted to reach for him, but I couldn't. I had nothing left to give. "I'm fine. Just a cold, I think," I whispered, pushing him away. He hesitated, but left me to rest after suggesting I see a doctor if I wasn't feeling better. Before I could escape to the solitude of my room, his phone rang. He answered it swiftly, his voice soft and affectionate. "Malcolm, where are you?" The voice on the other end was a woman's, sweet and urgent. "I'm feeling uneasy," she said. My heart lurched as I heard the tenderness in Malcolm's voice. "I'll come over now," he said, hanging up and rushing out the door without another word. The silence in the house was deafening. The meal was cold, the living room empty, and I was left with nothing but the weight of his departure. I sank to the couch, the nausea returning as I realized just how far gone we were. The next day, I went to the hospital for a checkup. The corridors were filled with couples, and I felt out of place in my loneliness. Then, I saw him. Malcolm. He was standing outside the obstetrics and gynecology department, glancing around. His eyes locked with mine, and my heart twisted. He didn't seem to notice the tension in my chest as he asked, "What are you doing here?" "I'm just here for a checkup," I said, forcing a smile, trying to downplay the situation. But the truth was that I wasn't there for anything ordinary. I was pregnant. I hadn't realized until I'd gone to the doctor that morning. The moment felt surreal, and as I tried to make my escape, I saw her. The woman, Naomi, who had saved Malcolm's life. I saw her leaving with him, holding his arm. I couldn't breathe. I stood frozen, my heart aching as I watched them leave together. I was pregnant. The words echoed in my mind. But he would never choose me over her. Naomi had his child, and nothing could change that. Back at the house, I tried to keep it together. I didn't want Malcolm to see how much he'd hurt me. I hid the pregnancy report when he walked in. He looked at me with his usual cold concern. "Are you feeling better?" "What did the doctor say?" he asked. "It's nothing. Just a little cold," I lied, forcing a smile. He glanced at the divorce papers in front of me. "Take your time," he said. "You can sign when you're ready." I couldn't hold it in anymore. I wanted to scream, but I simply nodded. Malcolm left me again, retreating to his study. I crumpled the report, slipping it into my pocket before I walked to the study and poured him a glass of milk, just like I always did. I stepped into the room and saw him, exhausted, slumped in his chair. He'd fallen asleep, papers scattered on the desk. I covered him with a blanket, as if it was all so normal. But then, his phone buzzed. A message from Naomi. "Malcolm, are you done with your work? I made soup. Do you have time to come over?" I froze. Her name, her picture, it was all too much. The message, the woman. It all hit me like a punch to the gut.